that you've come from your home on a hot day to come and be with other Sanatanis, to come together to hear some Harikatha. Very important. It's essential. Not only that you've brought your children and you're encouraging them to know about Hinduism. Very important. Without that, Hinduism is dying in this part of the world. In England and Europe and America, we must do everything that we can to keep Hindu Dharma alive. Agreed? Let's have a round of applause for Sanatan Dharma. If you who are from India do not applaud your own culture, nobody else will. British people will not applaud. You must do it yourself. You must be brave enough to say, this is what I believe, this is what I want to give to my children, and I'm going to be Dharma Rakshi. I'm going to protect it, isn't it? You know, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, I met him in 1996. He came to Hare Krishna Mandir, Bhaktivedanta Manor. He was still a young man then, or relatively young. But I believe he was Chief Minister of Gujarat at that time. And he gave a wonderful speech. And there was about 1,000 people in the audience. And he gave a speech in Hindi. And he said that, I like Krishna playing the flute in Vrindavan. And everybody went, they applauded. He said, I like Krishna, he said, wrestling with Kanks. Yes, very good. I like Krishna with Radha and the gopis. Everybody said, he said, but best of all, I like Yuddha Krishna, fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And everybody went, wonderful. He said, because Dharma needs protection. Well, if he's God, and if Dharma is God's path, the Bhagavan Marga, then why does it need raksha? Why does it need protection? You see, that's like saying a beautiful flower, sweet-smelling rose, needs no protection because it is created by God. Something that is created by God also needs protection, and it's an opportunity for us to protect it. If you see a child that is walking across the street, what would you do? You'd run forward, wouldn't you? You'd say, hey, stop. And someone might say, well, why didn't you just allow destiny to take place? This is just fate, destiny. It is the child's karma. If the child is going to die, then let it die. We do not have to do anything. But to allow something to happen that is bad is a sin, if you can prevent it. If you can prevent something bad from happening, it is your duty to prevent it from happening. So this is Hinduism in the Western world. It's like a very delicate flower, just like a young child. At the moment, we're seeing Hinduism come up, 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 like this. Everybody is being interested. So many people are interested in yoga. So many people are interested in kirtan. You know kirtan, of course. Every week you come. My daughter Janavi does kirtan and she's on in North London. 900 tickets sold. Fully sold. My other friend, Radhika Ranjan, he's on at the Apollo. The Apollo. You think that is just for comedians? Okay, and magicians and singers. No, it's also for kirtan. All over India, he's just had a tour. The Apollo is 3,000 people. In India, he was getting 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people. Bombay. And where else did he go? Delhi, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Bangalore, or Bangalore. And so many places, big tour. So why is it that someone can come from England, he's a Gujarati fellow, and he's singing kirtan, and all the young people of Bangalore went, yes, this is a new thing, kirtan clubbing, bhajan clubbing. Not a new thing, it's the oldest thing. But now it comes to you in a different packaging. It's like pizza. How many of you like pizza? Do you know pizza? Pizza's Indian? No? Just a chapati. Chapati with some vegetables. With sabji on top. Rotli with shak. They went to Italy. They went to America. And when the pizza came back from America to Italy, everybody said, oh, there's something American. Very good. Pizza used to be something for poor people in Italy. Only the poor. If you ask a high-class person in Italy some years ago, do you eat pizza? Do you think I'm that poor that I would eat pizza? But when it came from America, then everybody wanted it. It's American. Something American. So when we take kirtan from England or from America back to India, people go, oh, something new, fashionable. This is the oldest thing of all. But you're doing your part to make it very relevant and permanent in Cambridge. So for the first time, how many years ago we had Rath Yatra in Cambridge? 4. And it's still going. And if I'm not mistaken, every year there is more people. Increase. And the mayor is coming, or at least the sheriff of Cambridgeshire is coming. Important people are coming. The newspaper is coming. Sometimes even the TV is coming. Huh? This year we are having 28 Rath Yatra all over UK. So it's something that is becoming very popular. Kirtan is becoming popular. Rath Yatra is becoming popular. What else is becoming popular? Sabji, samosa. Very popular. So you should not think, and yoga, of course, yoga is everywhere now. Yoga is everywhere. Every street corner you can find yoga classes. And what the yoga teachers have started doing now is at the end of the yoga classes, they do some pranayama. You know pranayama? Pranayama. Deep breath. And hold. And out. Then the next step, they're saying deep breath. And hold. And Om. Teaching English people. Next breath. Now I want to teach you a mantra. This mantra is for health and happiness. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo. Yeah, you can say it. Om Namo Narayanaya. Oh, it's good, isn't it? Om Mamota Narayanaya. It will bring you great peace and happiness. And English people are saying, oh, this is very good, making me feel very good. Then they're saying, I have one more mantra for you. It goes like this, 3 words. Hare, Krishna and Rama. And people have been introduced to Kirtan. So it's very slowly it is coming. So we need all of you to do your part. Please do your part. Don't be afraid to be unfashionable. Don't be afraid to be Hindu. Don't be afraid of your culture. Be very protective of it yourself and share it with others. Because it is just what the world needs. The world is, I don't know, because I'm nearly 70 now. So when you're 70 and you look at the world, you think, Are, it's never been as bad as this. When I was a youngster, the world was wonderful. Now look at the mess they've made. Usually when you get old, anybody 70? If you're a lady, don't admit it. If you're a man, you could admit it. Yes. So when you're older, things look worse, don't they? And it was always better in your day, in your time. I'm not sure, though, that that's not actually correct in my case, because I look back and I think, never has the world been so confused. In my day, when I was young, the television, it was only black and white. Only black and white. There was no kusum. There was no soaps from India. That fell flat. Surprisingly, we've gone past that now. So it was only black and white. It came on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Before that, no TV. And at 11 o'clock at night, a vicar, a Church of England vicar came on the TV and said a prayer. Said, "Good night, everyone." And then came the national anthem, "God Save Our Gracious Queen." And everybody stood up by the television to say good night. Then came 24-hour television. Then, of course, came the internet. Now anybody is connected to everybody else. It should be a world in which we're all friends, no? The man who invented the internet, he said, "I did it because I wanted the world to be connected." Is the world connected? Well, anybody is a doctor here today? Any doctors? We have one doctor. Are people in general happier today? You ever in your life prescribed someone with an antidepressant? Isn't it? Every day one prescription for antidepressant. People say, "I am depressed." They're searching desperately in a world where we're connected to each other like nothing before. In a world in which we have so much entertainment. So many wonderful films have been created. $250 million they spend on making one film. You would think that that would give some happiness. We have a young friend, and he works on a television program in which the dragon breathes fire and makes someone burst into flames. And he's a stuntman. And for being set on fire, he makes £3,000 for 10 seconds work. Anybody's job pays them that much? It's good work if you can get it, but you have to be set on fire. And if they do take two, that's another £3,000. So people are inventing everything to enjoy, to have some rasa, to have some amrit, to have some sukh. But it's not possible. And then people are going to this doctor over here, and they're getting antidepressants. So how is it possible that we're creating so much to be happy, and yet people are becoming more and more sad? What is the solution? Because, let me tell you, when my grandfather was in India, the British used to run away from the heat. They didn't like the heat. They still don't. Even now, some people from India, they don't like the heat. They say, "Oh, England is very hot now." "Oh, you've come from Bombay, why are you complaining?" Our young friend Radha Govinda, he just took people to India on a tour. They went on a tour. They went up to the Himalayas to go trekking, British people. When they landed in Delhi 3 weeks ago, what was the temperature in Delhi? 48 degrees. 48, which is about, 120? Something like that. 48 degrees. That's hot. But by the time they got to the Himalayas, it was, at night, 2 degrees. So the British were very happy. 2 degrees is just like Cambridge. So my grandfather, the military, the civil service, they all used to leave Allahabad, Prayagraj, and they used to go up north. On one side they'd go to Darjeeling, or they'd go to Sikkim, and they'd go to different places like that. Everybody is in a race to get something which will make them happy, and to run away from something which will make them unhappy. This in Sanskrit is called sankalpa, vikalpa. Sankalpa, vikalpa. And at every second, we're doing the same thing. I'm too hot, give me a fan. I'm too cold, stick on the heating. I'm hungry, give me something to eat. My stomach is, give me a Rennie's, some Pepto-Bismol, I've eaten too much. Constantly. I'm tired, I want to go to sleep. I'm asleep, I want to wake up. Give me some coffee. Okay. I'm too fat, I sign on to a gym. I've lost too much weight. I don't like this country, take me on holiday. You know, I used to live in Kenya. Anybody here from Kenya? If I ask that question in London, you know how many people put their hand up? Everybody's from Kenya or Uganda. all the Gujaratis. So I used to live in Kenya, on the equator, and it was hot. For a man like me, a Dorio, very hot. I say to people, I'm no longer a Dorio, because you are what you eat. You heard that expression? If you eat English food, gradually the food turns you into an English person. If you eat Indian, if every day you eat rice and sabji and pakora, batura, dokla, gatia, sev, shrikand, if you eat these things, you lose your British passport. You go on holiday, you open up the drawer to look at your passport, it says India, Indian passport. So you are what you eat. So if you eat Indian, you become Indian. So now I tell people, I say, Doryo Bhare, Gujarati Andar. Anyway, they used to go to a place called Rishikesh. Rishikesh is filled with people who trying to escape the heat of the plains. So we're all trying to do this sankalpa vikalpa, try to escape. And the reason is that we are unhappy is because we have not looked at the scientific basis of happiness. Scientific basis of happiness is that the brain is not the focal point of your happiness or unhappiness. It is much deeper. And this, of course, is the great message of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna was unhappy. Krishna said, first thing Krishna says to Arjuna, what does he say? You're stupid. You're foolish. You're unhappy because of something that you shouldn't be unhappy for. The next thing he says is, you are the soul, not the body. You are the soul, the Atma, the Jivan, inside. This is the real you. The outside, this is just the colors. So I've come before you today, I'm wearing a yellow shirt and a rather nice white dhoti. And if my grandfather could see me now, this is what happened to your grandfather. You were an Englishman living in India. Now I'm an Englishman dressed as an Indian. This is all your fault. But I am not a dhoti. I'm not a kurta. I'm not a chadar. These are just my external dress. This lady is, if I say to you, Mrs. Madam, I said, hello, Mrs. Green Shirt, she'll be offended. She's wearing a green shirt, but that doesn't not make her that she is a green shirt. If I say to you, sir, hello, Mr. White and Green striped top, and Mr. Baseball cap, yes, you'd say, I am a human being, you know. I do have a name. What is your name, sir? Kalidas. That's his name, you see. You have to look past the clothing. What is your name, madam? Gita. Very nice name. That was the setup, wasn't it? Gita. You have to look past a person's clothing and you have to see the human being within. Similarly, just we can all be labeled in different ways, can't we? And one time I had a bad back, and I went to the College of Osteopaths. You know, osteopath, they look at your back and help you become free from pain. So very close to where I live, we have a college of osteopaths. So the students gather around while the doctor explains to them what the problem is. It was because the teacher is so absorbed in telling the students what the problem is, he forgets sometimes that there's a human being on the end of the spine. So he says, just turn around for me, please, will you? And he shows people, he says, here we have a spinal curvature like this and like that, like this. You see the fifth vertebra. And all the students are going nodding like this. So it's reduced. So we focus in on people on what we want from them, isn't it? Just like many years ago, many years ago, I was a criminal. Did you know that? They brought a criminal before you today to give a talk. I was a hardened criminal. What was my crime? I was distributing books in the street of Cambridge. Books written by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, which at that time in England, they did not want us to sell books on the street. They thought we were a dangerous group, a dangerous Hindu cult. So I was arrested by the police and put in a cell. Can you imagine? Jai Hindu Dharma. Put in a cell. And so the police, they were educating some young cadets, the young student policemen, police girls. They came round and he walked into the cell where I was being held. He said, "Here we have a case of highway obstruction and obtaining money from passers-by." And he walked out. I didn't have a name. I had no other identity other than the crime I'd committed. So if you're a policeman, you reduce the person to the crime. If you're a spinal doctor, you reduce everything to the spine. I had a problem with my bladder just recently. It's confession time, Mr. Sunday. I went in for a small operation, and the doctor came up to me with a purple felt pen. You know how it goes, don't you? For surgery. He said, "Okay." And he looked at me and he said, "Okay." He said, "Are you the left kidney or the right kidney?" What was he? He was a kidney specialist. He said, "Are you the left kidney or the right kidney?" I said, "Well, I have a name." He said, "Oh yes, I'm sorry about that." So he took the purple felt pen and he drew an arrow on my arm very quickly. I said, "I'd forgive you, but it's not even drawn properly." The point is that we see not as things are, not as people are. We only see what we are interested in. There's a story about the captain of a ship. Did I tell you this last time? Maybe I did. It was midnight on the ocean, and a big Royal Navy ship was plowing along. That's the ship. The captain was on the watch, and he saw another ship off in the distance. He said, "See that ship's light off in the distance?" He said, "Tell that ship to turn 20 degrees starboard." The captain flashed a signal with the light. They waited and waited, and the light came back from the other ship. "No, you move." The captain said, "I am a captain of a Royal Navy ship. You move now." The light came back. "I am a lighthouse. You move." So the captain, his identity was bound up in being a captain of a ship. So much so that he thought, "I am a ship." So much so that when he looked out on the ocean and he saw another light, he thought it must be a ship. You see? So we do that. We project. Our brain is a little projector, and it projects outwards onto people. I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, "Oh, she's like this, she's like that." I don't know you at all, but I'm trying to understand who you are. But I can only see you in terms that I understand. Do you see? So I'm putting little labels on you. Sorry, you don't mind, do you? As you sit in the front row, you expect these things. I'm putting labels on you, and you see, okay, she's like this, like that. You know, 2 dogs. 1 cat. Bombay. All of it's false, of course. The point is that we look and we put labels on everybody, because usually we see the world as we are, not as it is, but as we are. So we're trying to either enjoy something from someone else. We think, what can they give me? Or if I'm worried about someone, what can they do to me? What will they take from me? Sankalpa, vikalpa. There's an old story about a woman at midnight. She was walking down the road and she heard some footsteps behind her. She was walking. She heard footsteps behind her. There's a man behind her. She looked She saw a shadow. She quickened her pace. The man was coming behind her. She started running. No, sorry, that's a horse. Anyway, the man was. She said, she's running down the street. The man's running behind her. She thinks, I'm going to be kidnapped or attacked. And he said, you dropped your phone at the train station. You see, she projected a danger onto the man. So we do that in a world in which we're trying to find happiness, maximize happiness, and minimize suffering. So now, all of this was written about by someone who was a great sage. His name was Srila Vyasa Muni. Have you heard of him? Srila Vyasa Muni. And he wrote about this condition of life. And he wrote the Vedas and the Upanishads. And in the Upanishads he said, we are trying to find happiness like a man who's trying to get a mango by touching the reflection in water of a mango. The real mango is in the tree above, and the reflection of the mango, there's no mango there. So as soon as you touch the reflected mango, everything disappears. So in this world, there's only the reflection or shadow, right? The chaya. I won't burst into song, chaya, chaya. But everything is a reflection, a shadow of that which is above. Hey, brahmacharis, you shouldn't be laughing at that joke. Gotta watch these sadhus. So when we reach out, it disappears. Similarly, if you reach out to your fears, they also disappear. So we have to see things as it is. That's why Prabhupada called this Bhagavad Gita as it is. As it is. Seeing things as they are. That's why in India, you go everywhere in India, you find on the rupee coins, Satyam Eva Jayate. Satyam Eva Jayate. The truth will be victorious. Truth will prevail. That doesn't just mean telling the truth. It means seeing the truth, the reality as it is. So the Upanishads are secret information telling us how we can see the world as it is, not as how we think it is. You see? This is very important. So Vyasa Muni, he'd written the Vedas, he taught his disciples. They had also escaped the heat of Allahabad. They'd also escaped the heat of India by going to a magical place known as Samyaparash. Samyaparash. Have you been there? It's way up, past Rishikesh. You just keep going into the mountains, and there's snow all around. But it's very, very peaceful. You can hear a pin drop 20 miles away. Here's the pin, 20 miles away. Clang. Very, very good, really peaceful and quiet. Because he wanted to do meditation and write. So he'd finished everything, but he was not happy. He said, I'm the one telling everybody else how to be happy, but I'm not happy myself. How's that possible? So then his Guruji came. His Guru was, what was the name of his Guru? Vyasdev? Narad Muni. Narad Muni playing his Veena. That's right. Narada Muni, Bhajai Veena, Radhika Ramana Name. So he's coming and he's saying, my dear Shishya, my dear Vyasa, the reason you're not happy is there's one ingredient for happiness. And if you know this ingredient for happiness, you can be truly, truly happy. And that happiness can never be taken away from you. You will get amrit, you will get joy, anand. You see, there is sukh, which is happiness, and then there is anand. And the Upanishads say the sukh is a young man with a beautiful wife and a beautiful house and a good job. This is sukh. But anand goes many millions of times more than this. And this anand is known only to those who have atma-gyan. There's sukh, anand, and then Paramananda. Yeah. So in Gujarat, if someone says, Kemcho, you say, oh, Bosarasche. Bosarasche. But if you're really good, you say, Ananche. Paramananche. Really feeling it today. So he said, you have not fully described Krishna Bhagavan. Because only if you describe Krishna Bhagavan can you be happy. This Harikatha is very important. So please write a book about that. So Vyasa went into meditation, deep dhyan, and then he saw Krishna Bhagavan, he saw Maya, he saw the Jiva, then he began writing. And in this book he writes so many things. He writes everything that he did not write before. But the book is 350 chapters. 90 chapters are about Krishna out of the 350. And the rest of the chapters are about Vishnu and different avatars. So he's writing this book. And at one point in the book he said, Kali Yuga is so difficult. Kali Yuga is so difficult. The age that we're now living in. He said it is like a davanala, a forest fire. One time I was in Spain, just having the Sunday program with the devotees, and off in the distance we saw some smoke. Now between the temple and that smoke was all grass, bushes, forest. And one lady who was at the feast, her son was in the fire brigade. She took a phone call. And she started telling everybody there's a forest fire coming this way. The wind is blowing it this way. That was it. My class finished. The feast finished. Everything was finished. And we all got ready to run because you cannot escape a forest fire. So Vyasa Muni said it is just like that. Kali Yuga is like that. You try and escape war, you go to another country, you get problems. Try to escape this country, you get problems there. There's problems if you're poor, problems if you're rich. You know, everything has a problem attached to it. For every upside, there's a downside. So he said, Kali Yuga is where you run away from the forest fire and you jump into a river to escape the heat. But when you jump into the river, you discover that the river is only 2 inches deep. This is Kali Yuga. Where can you go for shelter? So very first on in the book, Haribol Murari, first on the book, he says, let me begin this book by describing my guru, Narad Muni, and how he became my guru, how he became Narad Muni. And he does so in the words of Narad. Now, on the Indian movies, Narad is a sort of a comical character, isn't he? He comes in with his veena and a big top knot. He's often saying, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Or Alak Niranjan, depending which movie you watch. But he's actually a very serious character. He's jolly, but he's very serious. He's trying to help everybody. So Narad Muni appears in different ages and different places, speaking to King Kams, King Prachunabhari. He's speaking to this Shukadev. He's speaking to Yudhishthira. Speaking to different people, trying to help things move along. Just like these devotees here. Where are the devotees? We're the brahmacharis. They're followers of Narada Muni. They're on Narada Muni's football team. They're not interested so much if England won or Norway won. They're interested in Krishna winning every time. That's why they're dressed in orange. That's the team colors. So Narada Muni is also dressed in orange, and he goes everywhere to give the message. And so, in the life before this one, before his life as Narada, he was a young boy, and his father died. Big problem. But his mother, she used to serve the sadhus, who came for Chaturmasya, the 4 month of the rainy season. And the young boy was able to sit in their company and do kirtan. And the next day, 5, 6, 10 minutes of kirtan. And they stayed in his house or around his house for 4 months. And once he was able to just take a little prasad, a little chuta from their plates. Then his mother died. His father died, mother died. Then he left home. And he walked through paddy fields and forests, over hills, through valleys, through dangerous places, through beaches in his way. And then he died. What a sad story. No. You only sing half the movie. If you leave the movie halfway through, you'll never know the ending. Our life, Narad's life, is like this. It's a very long movie. Like an Indian movie. You ever been to a long Indian movie? I went to an Indian movie once. I was expecting maybe 90 minutes. 3 3/4 hours long, man. Interval for, pakora and tepla, and bhajia in the middle, ice cream, people in the audience clearing, shouting, singing along with the songs. Very great night, but 3.5 hours long. You could fall asleep and wake up and it'd still be the same movie. Give you your money's worth. So our life is like that. If you see only half of it, you never know how it finishes. Okay? You never know who the hero is. You never know who the bad guy is. So, Narad Muni, his father died, bad news. Mother died, bad news. He died, very bad news. No worse news than dying. Imagine waking up next morning, you read in the newspaper that you died. Not good news. But he saw, just before he died, he saw Vishnu. And in his next life, he was Narad. And Narad Muni only exists by the mercy of those sages who did the Harikatha. Therefore, he writes, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. He says that the essence of life is to hear about Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan. This is the same message as Dhruv Maharaj, same message as Prahlad Maharaj, same message as Ambarish Maharaj, same message as Yudhishthira Maharaj, same message as Parikshit Maharaj. All the great Maharajas say the same thing. And the essence of Harikatha, or talking about the Lord who comes to this world to perform his Leela, is the name of the Lord. So, the Guru of Ramanuja, he gave him a mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya. He said, but don't tell anybody, because this mantra gives mukti. First it will give you Paramananda, then it will give you mukti, liberation. But don't share it with unqualified people, because if you share it with unqualified people, unrestrictedly, you yourself will go to hell. I'm warning you. And so, what did he do? He immediately went down to the bazaar. He said, my dear friends, come, ao, I want to tell you, it was Gujarat. No, it wasn't, South India. I want to tell you something. My Guruji has given me this mantra. Chant it, you'll be happy in this life and happy in the next. And he went like this, held his hands up, he said, Om Namo Narayanaya. And his guru heard the mantra. He said, what is this rascal nonsense boy? He said, I just made it my shishya, I just gave him the mantra, and now he's sharing it with everybody else. Bring him back. He said, why you've done this? You rascal fool. I told you not to. You disobeyed me. And he began to cry, the boy. He said, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, he said, you told me that I would go to hell if I shared the mantra, but that others would gain mukti, moksha. So I could not bear their suffering, and I want to share it with them. And the boy looked up eventually, and he saw that his guru was crying, because his guru realized, this young boy, he's even more advanced than me. So to share the Hari Kirtan and Hari Katha is the most important activity in the world. And if you do, not only are you blessed, but the person that you're sharing is also blessed. So that is what Narada does. And he told Bhagavan Vyas that you have not done this in your book. So that's why Vyas wrote the concluding book of all the books that he wrote, the Bhagavad Purana. The Bhagavad Purana. Now, of course, the stories from the Bhagavad Purana and the Puranas are being made into movies in India. Have you seen? Narasimha? Saw the movie? Didn't see the movie. Wonderful. You should see. Beautiful. Next one they will do is Vaman Avatar. Vaman Avatar. You know the story? Vaman is Vishnu, came as a small boy and all of that. Beautiful story. Bali Maharaj. So this is perfection. So Swami Prabhupada came to give that. At that time, nobody knew anything. Just one old man sitting under a tree, playing a little bongo drum that one of the young people had given to him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now in 1973, who was alive in 1973? Who was not alive in 1973? All of you. You're all children. Children you are. And now I'm an old man to tell you this. 1973, I heard this. I'd been to see some musical groups, and I was coming out of the area, and I saw 4 devotees, 4 brahmacharis, and they had no hair, which in 1973 was very rare. The only people who had no hair was people with alopecia, people who had cancer, and criminals, what we used to call skinheads. So no hair. And it was raining, and the rain was bouncing off their bald heads. They were dancing in the mud in a circle with 3 inches of mud. But I looked at them and I thought, what is it that they're doing? I've heard of these people before, I've never seen them. Now I'm actually seeing them with my own eyes. It was amazing. And I wanted to stay. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to have the happiness that I saw on their faces. But of course, I was to come back another time and another time in order to finally achieve that. So this is the substance. So just recently I wrote one book called Sanatan Dharma. I wrote a book called Sanatan Dharma, and I contacted the lady who's now my literary agent. She's called Dipti Patel in Bombay. She got very excited. She said, Kripamoya, this is a very good book. I'm going to give it to Penguin. Now, I had grown up reading Penguin books, and Penguin said, oh yes, we like this. What do you want to call it? I said, Sanatan Dharma. It's a very good title. It's very popular right now. So now I have a Penguin book called Sanatan Dharma. The only reason I'm telling you is because here's someone whose grandfather was in the British Raj in India, civilizing all of you Indians, introducing you to knives and forks and proper clothing called trousers. Okay? And now here's his grandson wearing a dhoti, and whose books on Sanatan Dharma are selling in India. How things change. How things change. So never let it be said that something Hindu is old-fashioned. This is a very common idea now. I talk to people and they say, oh, you've taken up this Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Is this because you have some problem in your life? Is this because you had no money? Is this because you had some difficulties? Or what are you running away from? We have to say, someone who takes to Hare Krishna. Yes, we're running away from a forest fire. Is that a problem for you, sir? that we want to find some shelter, you see. If I go to the hospital and I say, I need to see a doctor, I've got blood pouring out of my ribs, and the doctor says, it must be some psychological trauma you're going through. No, I have a very real problem, which the doctor can fix. See, we tend to overanalyze things. If I'm thirsty on a hot day like today, I reach out for water, and someone says to me, is this something you feel you're lacking? Is this something, is this a belief that you want water? Do you know it to be true? We are made of 70% water. I need to put some of the water back because the water's evaporated. It's as natural as wanting water. In the Bible, in the Christian Bible, it says, may my soul want the Lord God like a small deer pants for water in the desert. That's how we should be hungry for God, thirsty for God. And similarly, in the ancient scriptures of India, it said that we should hanker for this amrit, hanker for the nectar, which is ours by right. It's something that it's our birthright, something that we're born with, it's natural. So, we talked earlier about the pizza effect. So now, many years ago, 50 years ago now, 60 years ago, my guru was in India, and he was asking people to join him to bring Sanatan Dharma to other people. Not one person joined, but he went to America, met some young boys and girls, took them back to India, and now we have hundreds of thousands of followers all over India. It's interesting, no? It's got to do with packaging. Packaging, language, changing fashions. But it's the oldest of all, but in a new dress. Hare Krishna. So I want to thank you for celebrating the 4th year of Rath Yatra. It's a wonderful thing. And I know how much effort it takes. How many of you are involved in doing Rath Yatra? It takes a lot of people, doesn't it? Someone to do the legal side, someone to do the cooking. Now in London, I think we're way past 59. How many Rath Yatras in London? Very interesting in London. They say, look, Hare Krishna people, we will give you Trafalgar Square, but we'll give it to you for £30,000 if you're having a celebration. We will give you Trafalgar Square to use for free if you're protesting. So what do you want? Are you celebrating Rath Yatra or protesting something? And we said, we're protesting, please. All right, you can have it for free. What are you protesting? We're protesting the problem of birth, old age, disease, and reincarnation. He said, okay. So we go with one person has a placard. What do we want? No more rebirth. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Moksha. When do we want it? Now. So then, what we've done over the past 25 years is we bake a big chocolate cake. And we take it to the police at Scotland Yard. Got to go right to the top, to the HQ. I say, okay, what are you protesting this year? Same as every officer. Birth, death, old age, and disease. He says, okay. Signs off. He said, okay, where's that cake? Police are so easy these days. Just a pushover. So Srila Prabhupada would be very happy to see a Rath Yatra in Cambridge. He personally wanted Rath Yatra, Jagannath Puri style, to take place in all the cities of the world. So now Cambridge is very much on the map of international Rath Yatra. 28 cities this year, Rath Yatra. Now we have, all over the country, 100 plus small groups where people meet for kirtan. But now Cambridge has got so big, the next thing you'll all be asking for is a white marble temple costing £9 million. Okay? Go for it, I say. Why not? But don't look at me as if I'm going to pay for it. You have to find your own crorepati or a lakpati. That will help. All right, that's just a few words. Should we have some discussion? Any questions?